Have you ever wondered where all your money goes? I'm going to show you how, without realizing it. I've thrown away the equivalent of an entire trip for my family, just because of a bad habit that many of us have: changing cell phones every few years. In this video, I'm not going to give you opinions. I'm going to show you receipts, dates, and exact prices so you can see the real cost of my decisions. From my first touchscreen phone to the last purchase that changed my mindset, I'm going to tell you the whole story. And not only that, I'll give you a practical guide so you don't repeat my mistakes. I'll tell you why I bought a budget phone, how brands manipulate us, and why sometimes the best camera isn't what you think it is. I'll show you why investing in the right thing or not can mean the difference between saving money or throwing money away. A blow to common sense. First, let's put things into context. Today, tech companies use several strategies to get you to buy and repurchase more often. Emotional hype, annual release cycles, upgrades that require more capacity, and the illusion that if you don't have the latest, you'll be left behind. It all sounds convincing until you sit down and add up how much money you've spent over the last 10 years. And then the story changes. My approach with this video isn't to offer empty opinions. I want to show you facts, dates, and decisions to share the real cost of buying poorly. And so that when you're next tempted to buy the latest thing, you'll do so with data. The problem: why do we spend so much on cell phones? Ask yourself a simple question. Is it worth going into debt to buy a cell phone that can cost more than $600 when for $88 you can have one that performs basic functions like communicating using apps and staying connected? For many people, the immediate answer lies in status or the perceived need to have, so to speak, the best camera. But ask yourself, do most people really need a professional camera in their pocket? Here's a list of the factors that drive that need and why they don't always apply. 1. Advertising and status. The brand becomes a social symbol. 2. Closed ecosystems. Exclusive accessories that force you to buy more products from the same brand. 3. Forced updates. When software stops supporting older devices, your applications stop working. 4. Feature marketing. Multiple lenses, modes with catchy names, and stories that don't tell the real experience. If you don't control this, you end up with debt or unnecessary expenses that take away opportunities, vacations, savings, training, or equipment that truly improves your work. My experience: dates, marks, and mistakes that serve as a lesson today. I want to be very clear about this. I'm going to respect all the hard data I shared with you. I'm not going to change it, because it's evidence of why I decided to change the way I use technology. Here is the complete chronology. 2012. I bought my first touchscreen cell phone, an iPhone 3. It had been on the market for several years, having been released in 2008, but by 2012 it was already affordable for me. The surprising and important thing is that after more than a decade, I still use it as an alarm clock and stopwatch. Its battery is still working. It's no surprise to you that it still works. It proves that some equipment was originally designed to last a long time. 2013. The following year, when I had one of my best jobs, I decided to upgrade to an iPhone 5. It was a leap in quality, better screen, processor, and camera. Incidentally, the iPhone 3 was inherited by a relative, but over time, it became obsolete because it could no longer update essential apps. There, I saw the first pitfall. Software support reaches a point where the device no longer fulfills its primary function: running modern apps. My iPhone 5 lasted 7 years, until around 2020. It worked, but over time the battery started to fail, and many apps stopped updating or became more resource-intensive. When a device starts to lose its true usefulness, it ceases to be an efficient tool. November 2020. In November 2020, I made another important decision. I bought a Xiaomi Mi 10 with the expectation that a phone with a good processor would last me a long time. I even bought two, one for myself and one for a family member, thanks to a discount I found. I thought that if an iPhone 5 had lasted me 7 years, this Xiaomi with modern specs would give me even longer, maybe even 2032. It was a dream. However, the reality was different. After 4 years and 3 months, the Xiaomi began to shut down for no apparent reason. I did everything: updates, restores, factory modes, and revisions. Nothing worked. The battery had died, and the device was no longer useful. There, I learned another lesson. I started researching and found out that many modern devices, at least in practice, have a useful life of between 4 and 5 years, or 7, as in the case of the iPhone. The difference between 7 and 4 years translates into cost. If you buy a budget cell phone and maintain another type of investment, your financial results will be different. I'll come back with concrete numbers later, so this can be understood in terms of cumulative savings. GoPro 9. An action camera mistake. Looking for solutions to record content and stop using a cell phone, I decided to buy a GoPro 9. Why? Well, it was the most popular option, and I thought it would solve several problems for me: compact size, durability, and good image quality. Error. When I tried connecting external microphones, I realized that the GoPro 9 doesn't allow Bluetooth or direct connection without an official expensive accessory. That tied me to an ecosystem with exclusive and expensive accessories. If I had done a more in-depth technical comparison between the GoPro 9 and the DJI Osmo Action, I would have seen that the Osmo allowed for connecting wireless microphones, recording in logarithmic color profile format, which is useful in post-production, and generally offered more creative freedom without the need to buy exclusive adapters. It was a mistake, but a lesson learned. Now, if you want a camera to capture content, I'll tell you why an action camera can be better than a high-end phone. Here, I explain in technical and practical detail why to create content and save money in the long run. Choosing an action camera like the Osmo Action can be superior to buying the most expensive phone. First, there's the issue of audio. Microphones are a key element of content creation. First, there's the issue of audio. Microphones are a key element of content creation. You can have the best picture in the world, but if the audio is terrible, the video will suffer. Action cameras that accept external wireless or wired microphones give you real options for interviews and recording in noisy environments. The GoPro 9, without an adapter, severely limited me. Second, there's the issue of the logarithmic profile. Shooting in log means capturing more dynamic range and color for post-production. This is vital if you want to correct color and achieve a professional look. Phones often record with highly processed and limited profiles for immediate consumption, but without the flexibility that a log file provides. Third, there's the issue of ergonomics and durability. An action camera is designed to be mounted on accessories, drones, or helmets. Cell phones weren't designed for that, and often require housings and gimbals, which make production more expensive. And fourth, there's repairability and longevity. A well-maintained action camera can last for many years. A cell phone, on the other hand, can become obsolete due to a lack of software updates or accelerated battery degradation. What is log profile recording, and why does it matter? Let me put it simply. When a camera records in log, it stores more light and color information in the raw file. That file looks flat, straight from the camera, but it has more data to adjust in editing. If you're ever interested in learning professional color correction, log files allow you adjustment ranges that the default processed files on many cell phones don't allow. If you're going to invest in gear for serious content, the option of having a log can be worth far more than any cosmetic upgrades and expensive phone offers. Audio. The part overlooked by many creators. Audio is often the weak link in many travel videos or vlogs. I clearly remember my vacation where I had to fix the audio in post-production with makeshift solutions because my GoPro 9 wouldn't accept external microphones without an expensive accessory. Result? I spent time achieving decent audio. A tip: before buying an action camera or cell phone, check if it supports external microphones, what formats, and what accessories you need. This is one of the reasons why the Osmo Action would be a better choice than the GoPro 9 I bought. Batteries: why cell phones die prematurely. If you've owned several cell phones, you've probably noticed that the battery loses performance over time. Why does this happen? Most cell phones, as far as I've researched, use lithium-ion batteries, which degrade their capacity with each charge cycle. But in addition to chemistry, there are factors that accelerate this degradation. 1. Frequent deep charges and discharges. 2. Extreme temperatures. 3. Constant rapid loads that raise internal temperatures. 4. Software that demands more resources over time, background processes, updates. Some manufacturers limit the lifespan of their hardware due to cost and business models. That's why a phone sometimes seems to die after just 4 years, not always due to a manufacturing defect, but due to the experience design that makes the device less functional with modern apps. Calculating actual cost, a simple example. Let's look at some concrete numbers to make the decision clear. Let's assume 2 routes for 12 years, from 2013 to 2025, for example. First, buy high-end cell phones every 3 years at $1,600 each. Second, buy a cheap cell phone for $88 and reinvest the difference in other equipment or experiences. First option, every 3 years, you change your cell phone. In 12 years, you'd buy 4 cell phones for a total of $6,400. Second option, you buy a cheap cell phone every 4 years. If it breaks, you replace or fix it, and you reinvest what you earn in other things. Hypothetical purchase every 4 years. 3 devices in 12 years for a total of $264. Your savings would be $6,136. With that money, you can buy a modest editing computer, a mid-range drone, or finance a major vacation. That represents the real opportunity cost of choosing what seems best without thinking about the actual use you will get from it. What I did with everything I learned. I decided to buy an $88 cell phone, a ZTE. After everything I've been through, I decided not to buy high-end cell phones to create content. I bought a budget cell phone that runs the essentials: communication, financial apps, and social media. It saved me about $2,500 compared to buying a new iPhone, and I put that money toward priorities: upgrading my computer, considering buying a drone, and saving for a vacation. That gives me peace of mind. I'd rather invest in tools that expand my creative capabilities. For example, a computer for editing or an Osmo Action for audio and color. Then spend money on the illusion of having the latest and greatest. Conclusion: if you've made it this far, it's because you want to save and create at the same time. That's why you have to measure 2 things: the price of the equipment and the opportunity cost. Buying an expensive cell phone can mean giving up a laptop that lets you edit, or a drone that expands your content offering, or a vacation that gives you experiences and inspiration for new projects. My decisions weren't perfect, but I'm sharing them because I think they might help you. I bought the iPhone 3 in 2012, the iPhone 5 a year later, and in 2020, I bought the Xiaomi Mi 10 with durability in mind. The Xiaomi lasted 4 years and 3 months before stopping working. With the GoPro 9, I faced the audio issue and learned that the Osmo Action would have been a better purchase for my needs. Today, I use an $88 cell phone, and I'm reinvesting in equipment and experiences. Anyway, thanks for staying until the end. I sincerely hope my mistakes help you and that you save money and time. Finally, I want you to imagine yourself 5 years from now and ask yourself, will you have more memories, trips, and projects started, or more cell phones stored in a drawer? If the answer reminds you of all the money you've spent on cell phones, maybe it's time to change your way of using technology. Technology should be at our service, not the other way around. I send you a big hug and thank you for being here.